Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Welcome back to another video. So, in today's video, we'll do something a little bit different. Now, if you don't like this sort of stuff that I'm about to show you, then you can just leave the video. But, it's something that I want to do for quite a while now, and it's called Notebook November. Now, what Notebook November is it's like a month where we get to showcase all of our notebooks from Blue's Clues. And I've seen a couple of them, and I wanted to do one myself. So, with that being said, let's get started. Wait, why did I say let's get started and we show off one notebook? Maybe if I continue to do this, I'll show another one. Anyways, let's get started with the notebook that I'm pretty much proud of. And it's this. My Joe notebook. Yeah. Now I know this ain't so accurate at all, but it's the best I got. So basically what I did here is for the Joe notebook, the shape, how I got the shape. So funny about the shape. So I actually did on my school laptop back in but this was back in middle school, so this was made a long time ago. And what I did for the covers is I went on my school laptop and found a picture of this notebook, and I sketched out the the covers for it. And and the laptop is a small one, so I had to sketch out the parts of the notebook, scroll over to the parts I needed, and continue on until I got the full chair shape. And it was not easy, let me tell you that right now. But after all this, I'm pretty proud of it. And I know it's not printed because I do not have a printer, but I do have a tree. But overall, what I did for the covers is so so the covers are made of of cardboard, but so what I did was I cut some cardboard out and I placed a piece of paper over the cardboard on front, back, and the inside. And what I did for those is I painted some red paint on it, like some fluffy paint. And what I did for that is I took a paintbrush, I sprayed some, probably a lot of it, I don't remember, and I just painted it over all the red area. And you can see it because there's the back of it right here. I placed a piece of paper over it and just put some red paint on it. Now you don't see that side. What you do see is the back and the front. Now the back and the front covers are different. I do know that. If I had a printer, that'd be more accurate. But what I did for this is getting the drawing of it is I like once the paint dried, I actually put some glue on it as you might have a clear coat to seal it up. And what I did to make the outline is I use a few different Sharpies or paint pens or oil-based pens, I should say, and I drew out the lining for the notebook. And I actually used a picture to references. Like I didn't like copy it off that, but it's the best I got it, and it's probably one of the best I've ever done on a Joe notebook. I made others more, but this is like the best one I've ever done. And the size, I don't know if it's accurate, but it's pretty much how some of the other people done it, except mine was drawn on instead of using a template. Um, yeah, here's the back. The spiral. So this is not a metal spiral. The spiral here is was purchased from a flying color Steve notebook that I've gotten, which I'll show you that here in a moment. Yeah, this one right. I might showcase this to the next one, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, back to the Joe notebook. So what I did for this is I cut off the length of the original Steve spiral because if you could see, Steve's have 8 holes, while Joe's have 6. So what I did is I cut off the length of the spiral to make it shorter. I know it's not probably the what length it needs to be, but it's what worked for me. And what I did was it was already red, but I, I, I sprayed a few coats of apple red spray paint on it to give it, maybe make it show a bit more show accurate. Which I don't know why, because it's literal blasting. But yeah, that's how the spiral happened. And the holes. Now, if you watch Spoon's video of making his journal book, you will know that I dropped the crown. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, back to the holes. As you can see here, they're a bit different sizes. Joe's has 2 9mm hole punches and 2 for 7.9. Well, mine is different because the covers have it, but not the pages. But the covers has 4 9mm holes and 2 7.9. I don't know. I don't know if I made this before Spoon's video came out, but yeah, I had no idea there was supposed to be 2 9 instead of 4 9. So I mean, it works. It's not completely accurate, but the notebook is not even. As you can see, there's a bit of a dent there from bending it too much. But yeah, it will work for me, and it's still open. It still functions like a notebook, which I'll show that here in a moment. The crown. So funny story about the crown. So the crown is a Crayola Jumbo, but it's cut down to fit into my journal book. But with this one, this has some battle damage. You can see the point of the tip is a bit cracked. It's still usable, but not in a way. I plan to buy another one to make it better. And the wrapper is Steve kind of wrapper, except it's white, blue, and blue to make it Joe's. And yeah, and the crown catcher. So plastic cannot stay in shape. So what I had to do is, if you can see right there, I had to paint the spiral into a U shape. If you get the joke, U. Yeah. So I made it into a U shape, and I actually put super glue on the spiral end to make it connect. And it does work, but see, it doesn't fall out. But if I get another crown, here, let me get it for you. Okay, I'm back, and just dump this out. I got another crown right here, and this is a newer crown. Now crown trouble. I'll get into more details if I do another one of these. You can see, green, orange wrapper, different design. But if I stuck this crown in, see, it goes right through. Sometimes. Yeah, there we go. And it's because I didn't put it as close as I made it before. So, if I do fix the spiral, I'm probably going to bend this a little more closer so that it can stuck in and not fall off. But, yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with this. Now, onto the pages. So, the pages here is construction paper, but there was, as you can see, I draw a lot of clues in this, but back then when I made this notebook, I didn't use construction paper. I used cardstock, and it kind of works. And as you can see, it's not totally perfect, but I cut all this paper out by hand. And I know other notebook grades that cut their pages out by paper and they do it great. And some use a Cricut cutter, well, not Cricut cutter, but a die cutter with a level bore lever or a crank. But I just used scissors to cut it out. And if you can see here, there is actually 2 9mm holes and 4 7.9. So funny story about that. When I realized that Joe's notebook has 2 9 and 7 4 7 4 4 7.9, I mean, I make correction with the pages. Now the pages holes is not completely accurate, so I don't have a normal, like, except for a 9mm hole punch. I use a regular one, and for the bigger holes, I use the same hole punch and basically try to punch a big circle so that it could be around. And as you can see, it does work, but if you go on to some of the other pages, this one is completely torn off. And just get to what that I'm talking about. Yeah, this one right here, I've cut it a little bit too big, but it still gets the job done. And sometimes I cut a little bit too much out on one side, but again, it gets the job done, and I cannot complain. One of the pages is stuck. I'll fix that later. But yeah. And anything else I need to say? Oh yeah, the little grooves in the notebook. How I did that. So what I did use for this is an old base marker. And what I did was I once again used a picture for reference, and I free-handedly scribbled out the lines as best as I can. And it's not completely accurate, I know, but it's pretty good. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. Even on this side. And there was a bit of a smudge there. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah. And that's pretty much all I got to say about the notebook. But I will give you a sound test. So here's what this notebook sounds like. Hold on, let me get it to smaller crown. There we go. Yeah. And if you're curious, here's what the back sounds like. Yeah. And I think that's it for my Joe notebook. Joe is like one of my favorite, it's probably my favorite Blue's Clues host. And I really like the sound of this notebook. And I'm hoping one day to get a proper replica of one, because that'd be cool. But if not, I'm happy with this, and I don't plan on I plan to redesign it, but not at this moment because I'm extremely poor. As you can clearly see in the notebook. But yeah, I'm pretty proud with this. And if you want to know how you can make your Joe notebook, you can go to YouTube, which is you're watching on right now, and you look up Spoon Blue's Clues Handy Day Notebook, and he has a tutorial on not only a Joe one, but a Steve one as well. Yeah, And yeah, I don't know what else to say about this, except for it's probably the best notebook I've made. Like I made some custom ones, and I made a few more, but this is without a doubt my proudest notebook. I do plan to get this about this book. Yeah, I will buy it later. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you for watching. Again, this video is cringy to you. I do apologize. But this is a look at my Joe notebook to keep in theme with the notebook November. And hopefully I'll do this again soon. But yeah. So thank you for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you soon. Cheerios.